Sarah Wayne Callies seemed to be killed off-screen in Prison Break Season 3, but Sarah doesn't actually die, and returned in a later season. Now that a Prison Break reboot is on the way, fans may even wonder if she will return once again. Callies played Dr. Sarah Tancredi, Michael Scofield's love interest in Season 1, and a more action-based character in Season 2. Sarah was one of the doctors working at Fox River State Penitentiary's hospital, and she was one of the few with a strict moral compass, until she met Michael. Sarah looked the other way when it came to Michael's antics, even though she knew about the prison break. Whether the show was so entertaining because Prison Break is a modern Homer's Odyssey or simply because of the thrilling escapes, Michael and Sarah's won't they relationship had huge appeal. However, when Season 3 of Prison Break began, Sarah was nowhere to be seen. The character was killed off-screen with her head literally being found in a box. As Sarah was a likable character, her off-screen death caused a monumental upset, and it didn't help that it was reportedly due to tension between Callies and the producers. However, Sarah being killed off on Prison Break didn't last. Why Sarah Wayne Callies wasn't in Season 3 of Prison Break, explained. Contract negotiations likely led to Sarah being temporarily killed off. Prison Break was leading to a happily ever after ending where Michael and Sarah settled down together and put their criminal history behind them. However, that all ended when Sarah was suddenly killed off-screen, which is revealed when Lincoln Burrows finds her head in a box in Season 3, Episode 4, Good Fences. According to producer Matt Olmstead, it wasn't always the plan for Sarah to die, but the network rejected the original pitch for Season 3 via TV Guide. In order to really jolt the series, the next idea was for Sarah to be killed off. Prison Break's plans changed many times over its run, as it was originally planned to be a limited miniseries, so it's hardly surprising that Sarah's death was a result of Fox not being happy with a previous pitch. However, just because the producers had settled on the decision to kill Sarah doesn't mean they didn't want Callies to return. Olmstead explained that they initially asked Callies to be in a handful of episodes instead of a full season. Callies was contracted to return, but only if it was for the entire 22 episodes, which meant that the producers and Callies would have to renegotiate. Being pregnant and living in a remote area of Canada may have kept Callies from wanting to return, but according to Olmstead, he suggested bringing a camera crew to her. Contract negotiations ruined so many potentially great ideas, and Fox spokesperson Chris Alexander thinks that's exactly what kept Callies from reprising the role. Alexander explained that after she wouldn't agree to 13 episodes. How Sarah Tancredi was brought back from the dead in Season 4. The head in the box was not Sarah's after all. Following the negative reception of Sarah's absence in the third season of Prison Break, the producers realized that it'd be easy to bring her back. Though it was certainly implied that she was dead, Sarah's death did happen off-screen, allowing for some maneuvering. Callies never said much about being killed off the show or about the negotiations other than that she was shocked, but luckily enough, neither the producers nor the actors burned their bridges. Olmstead put it best himself, noting, via TV Guide. As a result, Callies returned for Prison Break Season 4. Prison Break characters coming back from the dead became a common occurrence in the show, and in Season 4, Sarah returned with her head fully attached to her body. While the Season 3 pitch saw the producers succumbing to pressure from the studio, Season 4's approach ended up being the opposite, as it was reactionary and based on the negative reception from the audience. While some suspension of disbelief is required, it was fairly easy to bring back Sarah, as Lincoln never inspected Sarah's head when he found it in the box in Season 3. Lincoln simply assumed the head was Sarah because both the head and Sarah shared the same hair color. The death was retconned when Gretchen, who supposedly killed Sarah, explained to Michael that Sarah escaped. Gretchen lied about killing Sarah so she could keep leverage over Michael. Since the actual escape in Prison Break Season 1, the show had become increasingly confusing, but it was worth it, as bringing back Callies was the best decision the producers made. Ironically, it's lucky that Callies didn't return for Season 3, because if the character had an on-screen death scene, it would have been impossible to bring her back.